Now let's get started.
Leah, what have you been doing all week?
Playing in the snow with Clara.
And what do you think of the snow?
It's very cold.
Do you like to be inside or outside?
Outside.
Outside, yeah. One of the things that Jessica and I have been doing while we've been stuck inside is watching some documentaries on ultra marathons, these races that take place over the course of many days, 225 kilometers. That's about 5 or 6 marathons, 125, 135 miles. But what's interesting that the participants are saying is that it's not so much the environmental stressors that they fear, it's that internal sense of giving up that they fear the most. That they find that they're able to overcome the environmental factors because of this inner strength that they have. But if they give up that inner sense of self, that inner sense of their strength, that they do cave into the environmental factors. One of the things that I find interesting in the book of Ezra, as I've been reading through that, are these Israelites that have just come back from Babylonian captivity, and that their focus is supremely on building back that temple, creating that foundation of their religious faith, that foundation of their spiritual life, after coming back and resuming a normal day-to-day life that has been so important for them to restructure this life of faith. And that building of the temple is important in that regard. But their neighbors, the environment in which they sit, is very hostile toward them and coming against them and trying to detract them, trying to inhibit what they're doing, trying to get in the way of this, even going so far as writing to the Persian king, look at what these Israelites are doing, look at how they are rebuilding this, that's not allowed. And so they're really conflicted in this sense of duty to God, but also responding to the environment in which they sit. And they decide, they're at a culmination point where they have to decide what it is that they're going to do. And they decide to stand for God, that they decide to make a way for their spiritual life to take center stage, that they're not going to worry so much about what the environmental factors are. And we see that God honors that. Over in Ezra chapter 6, we start to see that God has come through, that their faithfulness that they've had really keeps them strong, and God flips the script in many ways, and that these that have been complaining, the neighbors that have been wanting them to be trashed, wanting them to trash their plans, are now having to pay for the rebuilding of the temple. That what they thought they were going to do by telling on these Israelites comes back to haunt them, because now they have to be a part of that. And I read this story and I'm reminded of these documentaries that we're watching, that if we can stand strong, if we can be the people of God and keep God as the center focus and not worry about these environmental factors so much, that God does truly honor that faithfulness, that God will come back and honor our desire to serve Him above all other things. And we may not know what that's going to look like, but the Bible teaches us, and what we see in the people of faith is that God does honor us when we stand for Him. And when we're willing to not be deterred by the environmental factors in which we stand, when we have this inner strength that says, I'm going to stand for God, I'm going to continue to believe in Him, regardless of what's going on around me, I think we'll find ourselves being honored and being blessed. And I hope that that's a word of encouragement to you on this chilly day, this cold day. We look forward to being warm. We look forward to being back together again soon. God bless.